The United States ski team travels all over the world, racing down mountains from South America to Asia. But for one U.S. ski team member, being home in eastern Idaho is still her favorite place. I met up with one of the nation's best skiers as she continues her journey towards the 2018 Olympics. 80 miles per hour.
Let's go on, going up to 3 mechanical.
That's how fast World Cup downhill ski racer Breezy Johnson is going when she flies down the mountain.
There is 100% of my body working on a common goal of getting around the next gate or, being as aerodynamic as possible or whatever.
And she is hoping her high speeds and intense practice will help her this season as she is a contender to compete in the 2018 Olympics in February.
One of my major goals is to try to have a World Cup podium this year. I think that would be a big deal, either a World Cup podium or potentially a podium at the Olympics.
But her journey to Pyeongchang started back when she was 3 years old, skiing down her driveway in her hometown of Victor, Idaho, and eventually spending her childhood skiing at Jackson Hole Mountain Resort.
I think that a lot of the amazing ski hills that are around have really affected my skiing. So, I always love being in the mountains. Everyone here is super into the mountains.
At the young age of 21, Breezy has been on the U.S. ski team for 4 years and saw one of her most impressive seasons this past year, finishing at 18th in the world in the downhill standings.
Started off the season with an 11th place in Lake Louise, and I kind of followed that up almost every weekend with a lot of top 15s and even some top 10s in the World Cup.
But in March, when Breezy made it to the World Cup finals in Aspen, Colorado, her run did not go as planned.
As you look at some of the women's downhill, and she's into the splits and over the front, and an ugly fall for Breezy Johnson.
I caught an edge, and pretty quickly I was in the full middle splits, and then I kind of did a cartwheel out of that because there's no good way to get out of the splits at 80 miles an hour, and I fractured my tibial plateau, but considering the crash and everything, I was actually very lucky.
After a few months of recovery, Breezy is good as new and is ready to walk in the steps of one of her role models, Tommy Moe, who is a Jackson Hole native and 1994 gold medal Olympic ski racer.
I remember watching Breezy when she was like my daughter's age, 8 years old, and I was always watching her and Racy Stiegler, and they eventually made the U.S. ski team, and it's just the next generation that hopefully they can go represent our country at the Olympics.
And although Breezy says the Olympics is on every racer's mind, this small town girl is just taking it one step at a time.
I can't get too wound up in what if this happens and how am I going to feel in the future. I just have to focus on what I can do now to make sure that, I can feel those things.
This weekend, Breezy will have her first Olympic qualifier event at the Lake Louise World Cup in Alberta, Canada.